In Matthew 18:3, Jesus says, "Truly I tell you, unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven." In this case, it seems like being a child is a good thing. But then in 1 Corinthians 13:1, Paul says, "When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put the ways of childhood behind me." Here, it seems like being a child is a bad thing. So which one is it? Should we become like children or not? Is this an irreconcilable biblical discrepancy? Maybe even a contradiction? There are two keys to bear in mind in order to understand the verses. Firstly, neither Jesus nor Paul is ultimately concerned with biophysical development in their statements. What I mean is that Jesus isn't telling 30-year-olds in his audience to literally convert their bodies into that of a 5-year-old, nor is Paul concerned with stopping his audience from building a time machine and becoming kids again. Both of them are using an analogy, highlighting particular elements from the common experience of childhood to provide insight into more profound spiritual principles. That brings us to the second key point. Jesus and Paul are focusing on two different elements from childhood and are emphasizing two different principles. When babies need something, they cry without any regard for whether you're sleeping or busy. A small child may want you to buy a toy for them right now, with no consideration for your financial status. This is tolerated in infancy, but is certainly unacceptable in childhood. Division due to self-centeredness and inconsideration was rampant among Paul's audience, and he used the analogy of childhood to promote spiritual and psychological maturity. This call for spiritual maturity is consistent with Paul's writings elsewhere. When babies cry for food or when kids beg you for a toy, they are in practice acknowledging their personal insufficiency and concurrent dependence on the parent to meet their needs. They are also in practice presupposing the willingness and ability of the parent to meet those needs. If such a presupposition is acceptable, if not necessary for healthy earthly parent-child relationships, how much more necessary is it for healthy spiritual parent-child relationships with the Divine Father? That is the essence behind Jesus' statement, which is consistent with his stance elsewhere. So while Paul focuses on need for maturity, Jesus focuses on the need for trust. For more on supposed biblical contradictions, be sure to like this video and follow us at madegp.org or subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram pages.